Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel with another video for you guys here today. Before we get started, if you guys could hit that like button, it'd be greatly appreciated. Super easy to do. And also hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well if you're new and like Cowboys content and want to stick around for more. So we're hearing now the official word about what's going to happen with Zeke and where we're at in the dialogue. We're going to go over an article that was posted by Blogging the Boys, and then we'll further discuss this entire Zeke situation. The Dallas Cowboys are going to have to make a decision on Ezekiel Elliott this offseason for the first time since Dallas drafted Elliott 7 years ago. He enters an offseason with no guaranteed money on his contract from his extension way back in 2019. Since Zeke's deal was negotiated, this was always a potential break point between he and the franchise. In fact, last year on the day that 2022 NFL draft ended, Stephen Jones went out of his way to say that Zeke's making a lot of money, which implied even more that the team would consider moving on from him in the spring of 2023. And as a side note, before we continue, this is something I spoke on after the draft in 2022, that this is something to keep in mind as we move forward. If the Cowboys were really considering moving on from Zeke in 2023 as recently as a year ago, then his production this past season likely made their minds up. It has been well documented how Elliott struggled down the stretch when Tony Pollard left the Divisional Round matchup against the 49ers. The Cowboys got very little production from their workhorse back. Not even 24 hours after that game was over, word came out that Zeke was open to a pay cut with the Cowboys this offseason to remain a part of the organization. It seems that his representation may be trying to quantify his options. And then as a second side note to that point is then we heard that from his father that he wasn't looking to take a pay cut. Next, we got to talk about the second part where apparently at the NFL Combine, Zeke's representation are going to figure out his value and then present that to the team. It seems that Ezekiel Elliott's representation is going to be hard at work at the Combine, at least according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Schefter noted during Wednesday's NFL Live that Zeke's representation will figure out his value in Indianapolis before deciding about a potential restructure with the team. Now, with that being said, I'm going to actually stop there because here's the thing, right, is that there is this misconception between a restructure and a pay cut. And I think what's going to happen is you might see the pay cut come first and maybe they restructure the deal, but this is about taking a pay cut. And I understand they use the term interchangeably, but both mean different things. If the Cowboys restructure Zeke's deal, that would be a terrible move. Yes, you know, you lower the cap hit, but you're pushing the money down the road on a running back and get him a bigger cap hit. Meanwhile, if you give him a pay cut, we're having a different conversation. The problem is now is, do you keep him? Because if his representation says this is what we think Zeke's worth, and the Cowboys go like, you know, I don't think he's worth that, then Zeke's going to be gone, guys. I think this is the writing on the wall for Ezekiel Elliott and his tenure here in Dallas. I could be wrong. You know, maybe Zeke does really want to stay here and he's willing to do what he has to do. But at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys need to get younger and they need to get faster and stronger at the running back position. Ezekiel Elliott is not it. And yeah, if you want to bring back Tony Pollard, okay, but, you know, if you bring Zeke back and Tony Pollard back, that's not really doing you any service there. And considering that Tony Pollard just got injured and he doesn't have a whole lot of mileage on him, which is a plus to him. But the biggest factor is, you could easily spend the money elsewhere. You can go into the draft and double dip at running back and you'd be just fine. And I don't understand what the Dallas Cowboys are trying to do here. I think that they are backwards when it comes to the running back position. And I love what Zeke has done. I love what Tony Pollard has done. But we have to legitimately look at how teams have been building it. You look at what the Chiefs have done. They had a 7th round rookie in Isaiah Pacheco do his thing. And they didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on the running back position. The Philadelphia Eagles, they didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on the running back position. The reason I bring that up is because when you look at the numbers when it comes to the amount of money that you're paying for a guy to run the ball for you in the Super Bowl, the most I've seen is $4 million. You know, and that's not a whole lot. And for me, the only way Zeke's coming back is if it's anything less than $3 million. That's it, or vet minimum. I think that we have to be aware, guys, that, you know, this is an unfortunate series of events where, you know, we're just going through the motions. You know, Zeke's been in the league a long time now. We're coming up wow, almost 8 years since they've entered the league, and it sucks. You know, you definitely wanted Zeke and Dak because of the brotherhood they've built over the years, but we know where the team has to go. And that's the end of that, guys. I understand that many of us are going to be sad to have this discussion, and, what are we going to do with Ezekiel Elliott, and is it fair that the Dallas Cowboys are going to do this to him? Well, what other options do we have? Oh, we keep Zeke, and then we franchise tag Tony Pollard, and we're throwing all that money at the running back position? That doesn't make any sense considering how many needs this team has, and they can't just use this as an excuse to not do anything in free agency. If the Dallas Cowboys seriously want to get things done, and by the way, players here in Dallas have shown that there's no point in taking a pay cut. I understand certain positions be damned, but at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys have some tough decisions to make, but we have to be aware that Ezekiel Elliott is going to be on that chopping block, and we can't be afraid to say goodbye, and that goes for any player, but when we're talking about Ezekiel Elliott, it just doesn't add up. And that's just the truth of the matter. So with that being said, we'll see what happens at the Combine. We'll see if shit hits the fan or things go well. I wish all the well for Zeke and his team, and hopefully, this doesn't end begrudgingly, but, you got guys like Brian Broaddus and company coming out being like they wouldn't be shocked if this was like a Dez-like situation where they just cut him and they don't even bother trying to move the money around, because it really feels like that. It feels like it's a Dez Bryant situation all over again. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell as well. As we're getting further into the offseason, stuff is going to get interesting. We're coming up on the Combine and free agency, so let's just stick around. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.